5 lines from the top of Kuf Aleph and Madalev. Tonu Rabbanon. Tonu Rabbanon. We are Hakoire Pasuk Shal Shir Hashirim Va'oisa Oisoi Kimin Zemer. He takes a pasuk of Shir Hashirim and he makes a song out of it. You know which song is known from Shir Hashirim? Shechoilas avoni, shechoilas ahavo. Achoisi rayosi, same words, yeah. Person who makes a song out of a pasuk in Shir Hashirim, or the hakoire pasuk b'beis mishtois b'lizmanoi. If somebody takes a pasuk and he, while he's drinking wine with his friends, he says it over a kais. Ki'ilu is saying, in a beer, in a bar. Yeah. To entertain those people who are with him. Mevi ra'al olam. He brings tremendous evil to the world. Nishat Torah chagera sak, because there's a kitrig. The Torah goes up to Hashem and puts on a sack like an oval. And stands before Hashem and says, Ribono shaloylam, asauni bonecho kechinor shemenagdim boileitzim. Your children made me into a violin, to a harp, a chinor, whatever chinor is, that leitzim are singing, they're playing on it. Omar Allah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tries to advocate for Am Yisrael, says, Biti, my daughter, b'shosha oichlan v'shoisin. If they're eating and drinking, what else should they be busy with, if not for quoting psukim and Torah and singing it? If they know Chumash, yaska b'Torah. Let them tell Torah over some food. Ubenevim, ubeksuvim, and nevim eksuvim. Bala Mishnah, and if they are no Mishnayis, yaska b'Mishnah, b'alochis of Haggados. In Bali Talmud, and yaska b'Hilchas Pesach, b'Pesach, Hilchas Atzeres, b'Atzeres, Hilchas Chag, b'Chag. The opposite is also true. Anyone who takes a kais of wine on Yom Tiv and he says over it, Divrei Haggadah me'inyanei shal yoim, he brings toiv l'olam. Shenemar v'davar be'itoi ma toiv. L'maisa, this Gemara is a very big issue for all of us, because according to Rashi says that when it says Hakoire Shir Hashirim v'oisos kemen zemer, that's even Shir Hashirim. Kal v'chomer other psukim. Why even Shir Hashirim? Maharsha explains, because Shir Hashirim is supposed to be a song. So if you're not allowed to take a pasuk in Shir Hashirim that's supposed to be a song and sing it, right? Then Kal v'chomer other psukim in the Torah you're not allowed to do it. So Reb Moshe Feinstein in the Tshuva deals with this issue of how are we allowed to sing psukim of the Torah, of Nevi'im and Ksuvim, and make songs out of them. And Lamaisa B'di'eved, he says it's a very big tzarachin on the Mekilim, but he has some, I don't have a Gris Moshe with me, I prepared it at home to bring it over here, but that'd be great. You're a Dei Chelik Beis. You know where it is?
I'll try to look for it. I'm on Safari anyway.
Yeah?
Do we have it on the shelf here?
Yeah. I believe they have a Gris Moshe here, right, Doctor? Did they have a Gris Moshe? Forgot to bring it. But upon him, the Igris Moshe has a tshuva on this Gemara.
There's a Gemara, I forgot where, I think it's in Brachos, where the Rav would give his Talmudim wine to help them bring out some Sisrei Torah. It would, like, Nichnas Yain Yetzisod.
Yes.
Helps as far as also people whose innards are Malik Dusha,
to help them express.
The wine has an ability, just like it's created for Rishonim to give them enjoyment this world. It also has the other benefit for Talmidei Chachamim.
Thank you so much, Raggy. It also has the other benefit of?
Bringing out
Thank you.
Some Chidushei Torah. So it's a two-sided sword.
Didn't David HaMelech say Zemiras Hayu Lichikecha and he was punished for it? Right? Or something like that. Yeah.
The whole parsha with David HaMelech was with Zemer and his Kina and his all sorts of music.
Oh, Natana's here.
Yeah. So we started.
So we are looking for a tshuva of Rav Moshe. Okay, so look at that. Oh, Simon Kuf Mem Beis. Here it is. You're a Dei Chelik Beis. So we just learned the Gemara that it's osir to sing Shir Hashirim or any other psukim in Tanakh, to make a song out of it. You know any songs that are related to psukim in Tanakh?
Oh, man.
Right?
Man.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So here Rav Moshe in the tshuva says like this. Lamaisa,
This talks about Mishal She'oichlin M'shoisim. Okay, because at times of learning, there's a zemer to learn the Torah also.
okay, that's in time of learning, but otherwise, you know, we do it all the time. So here Rav Moshe's lashon is Reb Shol yesh po bayagdola. You came in just in time for a big problem we have over here.
Problem is good.
Reb Shol is going to give us a little kabbalah on this. The Gemara says here that you're not allowed to sing songs on psukim, even on Shir Hashirim. That's supposed to be a song. Hakoyer pasuk Hashirim va'oisikim zemer. So Torah chagera sak. Don't make a song out of me. Okay. So here's Rav Moshe's lashon. Igros Moshe. Be'etzem royim anu sheroy va'olam mezamrim nuschi brachas v'gam psukim.
בוא נספר לך משהו.
Yeah, Rav Moshe says that the whole world is singing psukim and nuschi brachas b'chol and yonei simcha. Af chasidim v'anshei masa. Everybody's doing it, Rav Moshe says in a tshuva. Af shezei vada yom afurish b'gemara Sanhedrin kuf aleph amad aleph le'isser v'lo yedua li tam nochen. Rav Moshe says, I don't have a good enough reason to say why it's mutter to sit around and sing songs on psukim of Tanakh when the Torah and Gemara says here hakoyre pasuk shel shirim va'oises kim in zemer Torah chageres sak v'ulai says Rav Moshe maybe the heter is mefarshim b'Gemara davka pasuk shel shirim shlo yivoy lezalzel b'shir shirim lo mishigosh. It's only shir shirim, not anything else. We have pischili achoisi rayosi shechoilas ava oni. Says Rav Moshe, maybe it's only Shir Hashirim and that song is Tzorchi and Gadol. But that's not like Rashi. Because Rashi here in our Sugya says that Nokat Shir Hashirim l'Revusa. That Shir Hashirim is a Chiddush. Kolshkin any other psukim. Why Shir Hashirim a Chiddush? Because it's Ikra Shir. Shemash me Kolshkin psukim shal Torah v'chol nevim ksuvim sha'aser. The Gamri with Tzorich Ian B'tam Shemakil. And Rav Moshe does not have a good enough excuse for all of us. Unbelievable. I don't know what to tell you.
הבעיה בשירים, הרב גולד, הבעיה בשירים שזה מתפשט, אז כל אחי פחי שר אותם.
נו.
כששרים כל אחי פחי יכול לסיים אותם במסיבות מעורבות.
זה הבעיה. זה הבעיה. כן, הגמרא אומרת את זה. The Gemara says that. The Gemara says, because they're singing it in bars, they're singing it all over the place. L'maisa,
פעם השמיעו לרב בן ציון אבא שאול איזה שיר אחד שזה מישהו כתב, מה זה כתב? סיבת הסיבות
No, he wasn't alive in that.
שנייה.
That song came out after he passed.
I was
דבר איתך, תקשיב, שיר על 10 הספירות.
What's up, guys?
Oh!
שיר,
Yeah. Yeah. Chazan Miller. Yeah.
אורות עליונים, אתם
Yes.
מדברים על שרים את זה ברדיו? שיר ברדיו.
You're not a chaz because you weren't singing. Yeah. That says you should sing. Yeah. So here's the Maharil. They bring down the Maharil. B'Shem the Magen Avraham brings the Maharil that says b'vadai that during Hallel, certainly during davening, there's an inyan to sing to be ma'or levavos. What are you saying, Abshal? Sorry.
So השמיעו לאברהם לציון איזה שיר שמישהו ברדיו, כאילו
Yeah.
שישמעו אותו בזה, על הספירות וזה, כל מיני ספירות.
קבלה.
כאילו איזה קבלה סתם, היה לו אחד שר כאילו שירים, הוא אריך אנפין, אריך לא יודע.
אוקיי.
תחברו את זה מיד, מה זה אורות עליונים, אתם ככה מדברים חופשי, מדברים את זה באוויר, את המילים האלה. צריך שמוציאים את המילים האלה מהפה, צריכים להיות בקדושה וטהרה.
ודאי.
בנקיות הדעת.
עבדה.
ככה מדברים, זורקים את המילים האלה באוויר.
עבדה. No, בוודאי.
זה עושה זילות.
Yeah. I don't want to get involved. You know, somebody once said, how do you know if a song, somebody once said, how do you know if a song comes from the Makara Kedusha or the Makara Tumah? How can you tell the difference? Yeah? Daniel, you know this, right? How can you tell if somebody, when you sing a song, how do you know if the song was created, was composed with Kedusha or it came from the Tzad Tumah? So if Shol doesn't need more than that, Dereach. But somebody said, depends which way the song makes you shake. If it makes you shake this way, then you know it's Kedusha. If it makes you shake this way, then you know it's Tumah.
Very good. That's why when we learn, we think this way. It's a good
All
song,
right.
you know?
Al Kapanim, that's what the Gemara is saying over here. Weiter. V'haloichish ala maka. Incantations. You know what incantations are? Yeah, incantations. It used to work. Incantations were up to Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph Mo, which is like 10, 15 lines from the top.
זה לחש שמערבים שדים. אבל אם לא מערבים שדים, יש...
Yeah, psukim. We're going to talk about psukim. He says, Kol ha-machla asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo asem alecha. He says psukim on Makkah. They used to say, it used to work. They used to go to somebody, Kol ha-machla asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo asem alecha. He used to like do it, and he used to walk away. It was gevaldig. Says the Gemara that loicha shalamak is one of the One of the things that ein lechelik lo'olam haba. Ein lechelik haba. Amr Rabbi Yochanan and Beroikik ba. When do we say that ein lechelik lo'olam haba? That's only if somebody spits. They used to spit on the makkah. Yeah, your saliva went on the makkah, and then you'd say a pasuk. So why is that ein lechelik lo'olam haba? If she'ein maskir and shem shemayim al rikika, because you're not allowed to say Hashem's name when you spit. It's not covered. It's a bizoyin for Hashem's name. Yeah. What is that? What about Rabbi Meir?
רבי מאיר והאישה עם השלום בית. חקקה בפניו 3 פעמים, לא פעם אחת.
He spit in her eye?
She spit in his eye.
She spit in his eye.
אמר לה תעשי לי לחש. אמר לה תעשי לי לחש.
Shalom Bayis, we erase Hashem's name over Shalom's Bayis.
תעשי לי לחש. עשתה לחש וגם הרקקה בפניו.
That has persevered with time. That's lachash for the bone and stuck in the throat.
Oh, that lachash, that's the only lachash that still works. If somebody has a bone stuck in his throat, what do you say? I don't remember the lachash. Does he bring it here on the bottom? One lachash that still works. That still works. Yeah, it still works. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only one that has survived the test.
But I know it's working.
The other ones they say also work, but you have to know exactly how to do it. It's not so simple.
You have to know the
Yeah.
The other one
Itmer.
is with the pigeons and the hepatitis.
עם pigeons והhepatitis 100% works.
Yeah.
There is Israel, there's a
$1,000,000% works.
Yeah. When I was younger, I had very bad acne. Very bad acne. I came to Eretz Yisrael. Tremendous. I was like literally embarrassed to go out. What? I did everything. And then I went to Eretz Yisrael, and one guy who had some connections with some lady, some Ayin Hara, some heebie-jeebie lady, said, I'm going to get you something for your face. Anyway, he comes back with a cream. It smelled so bad, it made no sense that it would work. And I tried everything over the counter. I went to all kinds of doctors. I literally had saras. I was like 18, 17 years old. Anyways, this guy gives me this potion. A potion, literally a potion. I put it on. Within a few days, it was like dark, like it looked like brown black. Yeah.
זה כמו הזפת הזה.
Yes.
יש לו ריח של זפת, נכון?
יש לו ריח של זפת.
של זפת. אז אני יודע, אז אמא שלי הייתה עושה את זה. זה גם כן, אני מכיר את זה.
Some EBGB stuff. Anyway, I put it on.
זה עובד.
It worked. I'm not sure what they said over that stuff. I don't know what they said.
עובד.
Yeah. Abracadabra, yeah.
You need another one.
You need another camera. Itmer weiter. Rab Omar afilu nega tziras. Even if Itme Rav Omer afilu nega tziras. Even if somebody is loichesh a pasuk that does not have Hashem's name on it, right? If he spits and he says a pasuk, nega tziras kesiya be'odam uvel hakoyin. If it says a pasuk without Hashem's name, still it's a problem. You shouldn't do it. What are the chances to come across a daf that has a pasuk of this week's parsha, Vayikra Moshe, that it says even if you say Vayikra Moshe and you say nothing else, Vayikra Moshe. Rashi says it doesn't have any inyan of choili or nega or of refuah. He just says a pasuk in the Torah, and he wants to heal himself, the makkah, with the schus of Torah. Schus of Torah. He says a pasuk, a random pasuk, Vayikra Moshe. Whether he says the Vaydaber Shem Elov, he says the whole pasuk or just half the pasuk, but he wants to use the power of Torah to heal. Says the Gemara, that's also aser. And if somebody does it, because he's showing that Torah is not a spiritual entity. He's using Torah he's defiling Torah, using it in a materialistic way. And that's a bizayon. What's very interesting is there used to be a video that was going around of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, and I have a kasha, I don't have an answer on this video. Rav Chaim Kanievsky, a fellow came to him, and he said that he's suffering on his foot. He needs a refuah for his foot. Rav Chaim Kanievsky told him, learn which perik in Shas has to do with the foot. Kates of the regel. Kates of the regel, Baba Kama, learn Kates of the regel, and Yav Refuah Shleima. So the shaila is, what do you mean, Shtieble in the Gemara? You can't use Divrei Torah to heal a physical ailment. So Pashtus, over here we're talking about Psukim, we're talking about Tanakh. Here, Torah Shabbat Peh maybe is different. Kacha, Efsher.
I would be retired. It's a little different.
Yes.
I think if you're using a pasuk as like some sort of heebie-jeebie, like you said, oh, this pasuk is going to cure my illness.
Yeah.
Then that's probably what the problem is. But use it as a skula, stam.
Stam as chus of Divrei Torah.
Of
Divrei Torah.
Yeah. To get married is a skula to learn Maseches Kedushin.
I love it. That's great. But Reb Chanina says, "Afilu vayikra Moshe." Even vayikra Moshe, which has no skula to it. There's no like heebie-jeebie part that has nega or tzaras in it. Stam. You want to use a chus of Divrei Torah itself? That's also a problem.
Well,
unless it's
If anything, you're showing that the Torah is powerful.
right.
Sitting there with goyim and or whatever.
Yes.
And then you come and you do your thing. Isn't that how people converted, right? They saw
not l'shem shumayim.
example with Mordechai, right? So they would say that people were afraid of him and they converted. They saw the kedusha. They saw that the power of how things turn around.
Yeah. I don't know, but they all say it's osirless. Rabbi says saguf b'divrei Torah. You can't use divrei Torah to heal your body, because it says v'yu chayim lenafshecha. It's a soul. It's a spiritual entity. It's a little bit hard to understand, but this is what the Gemara says here.
It's the incantations that are you can call it illegal, right?
The Gemara does say.
That what do you mean? That are illegal that you're not supposed to do halachically, you mean?
Yeah, people say Tehillim all the time to help people feel better, right? You people say Tehillim, right? And it's
right.
So you're learning Torah, and it's close that somebody should have a refuah.
But that's tefillah.
Tefillah.
That's tefillah. Tefillah is different.
But
You're
tefillah is
davening.
Torah.
Tehillim is not tefillah.
Torah is not tefillah. Torah is different.
Tehillim is Torah.
At the same time.
Tehillim a lot of
Aha. What is that? Tehillim is Torah?
Torah and it's Torah and tefillah at the same time.
Right. But you're saying it b'derech tefillah. You're saying it b'derech tefillah. I hear what you're saying, Natan. Yeah, it's a little difficult to understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have clarity in this matter. Yeah.
כל זה אסור שלא יהיה קרדום לחפור בה.
Don't make it into.
זה יהיה, כל אחד יעשו ביזנס מזה.
Aha.
אתה תגיד את זה, כל זה,
To learn. Yes.
Story with Reb Chaim also.
Do you really?
One of my children have a medical.
היום יש הרבה כאלה.
Told me to learn Erech.
שמים זה, כובע ככה, ונעליים כאלה.
One second. We have a personal story in our shiur. Can we turn the cameras over here, please? We have a personal story in our shiur right now with Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Bechavot, turn the camera to Reb Daniel.
No.
Please. No, come on. You have a beautiful story of Daniel with Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Go ahead, tell them. Please.
Okay, well, one of my children had a medical issue, and we went to doctors, this and that, and we had a shaliach basically go to Rav Chaim Kanievsky at the time, and actually went to him a couple times because just to make sure. And each time he said, "Learn Masechet Erchin," and I learned Masechet Erchin, and Baruch Hashem, it went away. So
Wow.
Went away after you learned Masechta Erechim.
I learned Masechta, yeah.
So here, Reb Chaim again used a Masechta and Shas to heal. You know, it's interesting. You're reminding me of a story. I have a very close friend. He used to live in LA. He doesn't live in LA anymore, but he wanted to move to Eretz Yisrael for a very long time. His wife didn't want. And so he went to Reb Chaim Kanievsky. So he told me the story, and I'll send him this link right after the shiur when you upload it, Rocky. I'll send him the link. I don't want to tell his name. Some of you for sure know who he is. And he went to Reb Chaim. He says, "My wife doesn't want to make an aliyah. I want to move to Eretz Yisrael. What should I do?" Reb Chaim said, "Write a sefer on mitzvahs yishuv Eretz Yisrael." Write a sefer mitzvahs Eretz Yisrael. Says, okay. So he comes back to LA. He lived there in LA. Lived Mamash here. He comes back, and for the next 2 years, he's busy collecting Mar Mekomis, writing a sefer on mitzvahs yishuv Eretz Yisrael. And he puts it. He puts it together. 2 years later, he's busy a whole 2 years. Puts it together, he publishes it. The day he publishes it, he comes home and his wife says, "I have a gift for you." Comes into the dining room, there's a big sefer. She published the sefer that he had published in a very, very big edition, very big volume. He says, "Wow, very nice." He says, "Open it." Opens it up, and tickets to Israel fall out. Says, "I already booked all the tickets to Israel. We're leaving, we're making an aliyah in 2 weeks." The date was posted for 2 weeks. And that was it. Rav Chaim said, learn Torah, mitzvah Yisrael, and you have a miracle. You go to Yisrael. You have to understand what the miracle was there, but akaponim, here, Erichin, Ketzir Regel, you have to be miyashiv.
Rav Chaim said it. That's what
It's because Rav Chaim said it.
Yeah, that's right.
The Sfardim are saying, these are only the Sfardim speaking, because they have Amunas Chachamim, by the way.
It was a story about... I heard this amazing...
Rav Chaim said it.
There's an amazing story. I heard that.
Turn the camera to Mo. Turn the camera.
If I'm going to say nothing will happen.
We look at him when he had bracha from Rav Chaim, and he wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
And there was supposedly where he lived, there was a fountain or something with water.
Yep.
And he couldn't see the people. He wasn't feeling well, so he said there was a whole lot of people waiting already. He says whoever drinks from the water will be healed, whatever they have. And somebody goes, I'm not going to drink it. And the other people drank it, and whoever drank, the Mamish got healed. Whatever they have.
You heard this firsthand from somebody?
I heard this from when I was maybe the Gabbai or someone.
From Bear Miriam.
Listen, whatever he said.
That I never heard before. Unbelievable. Yeah, okay.
If I say it, nothing's going to happen.
My brother just told me to the son-in-law. Who's the son-in-law? Who goes to New York.
Yitzchak Zilberstein, yeah.
No, whatever.
Kolodetsky, yeah.
Yeah.
Kolodetsky, yeah.
Oh, he's here.
He gets a chevra over there in New York to donate a little bit to the yeshiva. He was telling him a story about a guy lived in Vegas. He wants to get divorced. He called him. He said, "Listen, I want you to ask the Rav if I could get divorced." He said, "I'm not asking that question. I only ask questions for things that are positive.
Yeah.
You ask him yourself."
Yeah.
So he called the Gabbai, whatever, and the Gabbai said, Rav Chaim said you have to come to Israel. He said, "I live in Vegas." He says, "Rav Chaim said you have to come to Israel." Comes to Israel, says, "I want to get divorced with my wife. I can't take it anymore. I can't stand her. I hate her. I need to get out. I need you to give me like a heter, whatever. Give me a bracha that it's going to be okay." Rav Chaim says, "I want you to go home and buy your wife a nice jewelry and make amends with her." He said, "You don't understand. I want to divorce her." He sat there sitting for a couple minutes. He says, "Do you want to be rich?" He said, the guy's eyes open up like waiting to hear what he says. He says, "You go home. I want you to buy a nice jewelry, make amends. You'll be very wealthy." The guy comes home. He got an offer to buy a power plant in Vegas. Somehow he got the money together, $40 million, bought this power plant. Within a year or something later, they needed to do a renovation. They bought it from him for $300 million. And my brother said to him, he said, "Does the guy give you money?" He said, "I go there, the guy gives me like $40,000 or $50,000.
You know this guy personally?
My brother told me, and he told me the name. He's here now. You can ask him. Sit down. I'll bring you to the ship.
This story.
Zechusoi Yogein Aleinu Val Kol Yisrael.
The guy doesn't give you nothing.
אתה מבין, אם אני אגיד דברים כאלה, כלום, שום
He
דבר לא
tells you
יהיה.
what's happening.
אף אחד לא ירוויח כסף, אולי יפסידו כסף.
He's telling you you're going to
Maybe
do
they're going to lose money if I say something.
Tonu Rabbanan.
$250 million.
Unbelievable. Tonu Rabbanan. Incredible. Tonu Rabbanan. Sochen umamashmishin b'vnei ma'ayim b'Shabbos you're allowed, once we talk about refuah, so now we talk about refuah b'Shabbos. You're allowed to take oil and smear it onto a sick person's stomach on Shabbos, even though it seems like refuah, and refuah is asr b'Shabbos, right? Everybody knows you're not allowed to take refuah b'Shabbos. Why not? Because you might come to grind some of these samamanim, some of the spices, they need to include in the refuah. They still put shem and arak. You're allowed to do it on Shabbos. Why? Why is that different? Answer is because it's not derech refuah. It's not derech refuah. Yeah. Because sicha is more like shtia. Weiter. You're allowed to say an incantation on nechashim and akrabim. Let's say you see snakes and scorpions, and you don't want them to bite or to hurt anybody. You say some incantation, you say some lachash, and you trap them. That lachash kind of freezes them. So that would be like tzad. Tzad is one of the lamates malachas. You're not allowed to capture an animal, right? But b'Shabbos, So here you're allowed to do it. The question is, it's mutter even with tzad if there's a real danger, it's a real sakana. So over here, even if I'm assuming, even if it's not sakanas nefashos, just shalei yaziku, it's also mutter. Mavir and kli al gava'ayin b'Shabbos, you're allowed to put a metal keli on your eye if it's blown up, if it's swollen b'Shabbos, because it's like ice. You put ice on it, that's okay. That's only with a kli that's mutter to be matatal on Shabbos. It's not muktzah, like a knife or a key or a ring. But if it's muktzah, then also then you're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to ask a shade to help you find something. Why not? Because why not? Why aren't you allowed to do it? Because Rashi says means you're not allowed. You have to change your dibur on Shabbos. You can't do what you usually do during the week. You can't speak the way you speak during the week. I guess during the week they used to do that. Even b'choil, that's also aser. The Gemara is going to explain in a moment why. The reason why Rabbi Yossi says you're not allowed to do it even in the week is because it's a sakana. He was swallowed up in a cedar tree. And the nace happened, and the cedar tree split open, and he was able to get out. Shalom aleichem. Hi, shalom aleichem. What's your name? Avi, nice to meet you. Very nice to have you with us. You came just in time for the next Tanu Rabbanan, right here. Tanu Rabbanan, Kaf Aleph Amid Aleph. Tanu Rabbanan, we are on the very first of the wide lines. Tanu Rabbanan. Sorei shemen. If somebody asks and shadim al yedei lechisha al shemen, he uses oil to like evoke a shade. V'sorei beitzim, or somebody asks a shade through a shvayferes shal beitz. I guess these are different ways to contact these shadim, these ghosts. Mutar and lishul behen. There you're allowed to do it. Elom neshachazvin, don't do it because those shadim that are evoked in such a manner, in such a way, usually lie. So you don't want to fall into the trap of their lies.
I think I skipped the last Tanu Rabbanan, 2 lines before that.
I'm sorry, you're right. Tanu Rabbanan, I apologize. Tanu Rabbanan, again, you're allowed to smear oil on a person's stomach and a chayla's stomach on Shabbos. You shouldn't do it the way he does it during the week. He has to change the order. How should he do it? Should be mutter. First he smears the shemen, and then he is meshafshiv, and not the other way around. You do it all the way, both together. You're not allowed to ask the sheidim through the medium of shemen or beitzim because they lie. You're allowed to use a lachash on shemen that is poured into a keli, but you can't do a lachash on a shemen that's in the palm of your hand because that lachash doesn't really help in such a way. That's why you're allowed to pour onto the guf of a chayla from shemen that's in the yad, right? Because you don't have to choishish that any shady, I guess that's where the word shady comes from. No?
I like that.
You like that? Any shady business had been done with it, that people did shade stuff with it. The ain't sachem Hashem b'kli, because there you have to be choishish. Maybe they did some shady stuff. Yeah, maybe there's some shady stuff there. He came to a certain hotel or motel. The Balbais brought him oil in a kli. Shaf. So first, the Rebbe Shmuel put it on his face. Nafkale tzimcha ba'ape, and all of a sudden he had boils coming out of his face. Nafik l'shuk. He went out in the street with the boils on his face. Chazisa yitzah. So a woman sees him, and she knew all the lachashim. She was an expert. Amr, she said to him, Zika de chamas chazina acha. I see in front of you the shade that's called chamas. Abdul Milsevi Tase. So this woman who knew the business of shadim gave him a lachash that he was able to heal from it. Comes Yom Tiv, comes Pesach. We need this pasuk. Any machla that Hashem put in Mitzrayim lo osem alecha kani Hashem refecha. You know, that's what they say in the Haggadah. We get involved with how many makkahs was in Mitzrayim, right? Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yossi Aglili. The more makkahs, the better. Why? Who cares? Yeah, Etzba with the Yad. How many makkahs were there? Teretz is because the Torah says Kol machla asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo osem alecha Hashem refecha. Right? Everybody knows this. Any machla, any sickness that was in Mitzrayim, I won't bring upon you. So the more illnesses, the more sickness we can find the Mitzrayim had, the more of the bracha we have. Kani Hashem refecha. If Hashem promised that He's not going to bring any of those machlas, why does the Torah say Kani Hashem refecha? You don't need a doctor if you don't get sick. So why does the pasuk say Hashem will heal you? This pasuk you can darshan, you can explain from the very verse itself. The beginning of the pasuk says, "When won't Hashem bring those machlas? If you listen to His voice, im tishma lo yosim. That's when I'm not going to give you the machlas. V'im lo tishma osim be'afal piken. And even though if you're not going to listen, I'm going to bring you the machlas of Mitzrayim. Still, I promise I'll heal you ki ani Hashem rafecha, because I am Hashem your roifer."
But anyways, Hashem can make endless amounts of plagues. So you're not bringing 250, so I'll bring another million. You know, it's
right. He can invent new ones.
Yeah,
he can invent new ones.
Maybe it's just the statement itself showing Hashem. I don't know. But
right.
She can do anything at any time, like COVID. Right? No one knew about it. It's a new thing.
Right. So the Sforim HaKadoshim say, yeah.
Okay, but we can do this. I'm not going to hit you with a hammer, but I'll take my chainsaw and cut off your head. Like that.
Fauci knew. Fauci knew for sure.
Hashem's the original precision medicine.
He did it.
Right.
Somehow, the story of the Yetzias Mitzrayim is the foundational story of the Am Yisrael. Right? We speak about it on Pesach. Why is it so important? So they say, hey, look at Pesach. So what do they say? They say that really that story, the story of Mitzrayim, anything that'll ever happen in the future, happened by Mitzrayim. Whether COVID was, whether they knew that it's COVID or not, but it was there. And that's why it's all it all goes back to Mitzrayim. Come over here. I have a Gemara for you. Gemara says, I don't know if you want to be in the camera. He's camera shy. I'm camera shy too. His Talmidim came to be Mavaker Rebbe Eliezer Hagodol. This is Rebbe Eliezer ben Harkinis. He was one of the greatest students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and he lived right after Churban Bayis Sheni. And he was one of the Rebbes, one of the Rebbeim of Rabbi Akiva. He's known as Rebbe Eliezer Hagodol. He's Mechaber Pirkei Rebbe Eliezer. Okay, so anyway, he was sick. By the way, the Ben Yehoyada speaks out, this wasn't the final illness of his life. There's another story elsewhere about Rebbe Eliezer Hagodol and the Gemara in Brachas. That's a different story. Yeah. Another ending to his life, but this was before with a different illness. Nichlas Talmidim Levakroy. His Talmidim came to be Mevakar Cholim. Omer Lehen, so Rebbe Eliezer said, Chema Aza Yesh Ba'olam. There's tremendous anger going on in the world. What does it mean, Chema Aza Yesh Ba'olam? So Rashi says, Chema Aza here means Al Atzmoy Haya Omer. He was referring to himself. Shekoas Olav Hamakam. He said Hashem is upset with me. Vehichbit Cholyoi, and that's why I'm so sick. That Hashem is upset with me. Lamaisa, the Mefarshim don't like Rashi's pshat because he says Chema Aza Yesh Ba'olam in the world. If Rashi is right, it should be Chema Aza Yesh Bi. Hashem is upset. There's an anger toward me, and that's why I'm sick. So the Maharsha explains, others explain, that really it's ba'olam. Rabbi Eliezer didn't have any Averis. But when a tzaddik is mechaper in his generation, so when there's Averis in the world, with an anger, shiur in the world, then a tzaddik is mechaper, he becomes sick. And that's Rabbi Eliezer Chem Azi Yesh ba'olam. His chil went boichen, so Talmidim started crying. Rabbi Akiva masachik, Rabbi Akiva was laughing, smiling. Amrullah, they said to him, Lama ata masachik. Right, it's reminiscent of the Gemara Makis. Everybody's crying when they saw the fox coming out of the Harabayas. Rabbi Akiva is smiling because he saw the Nevuah of Zechariah.
And the Masechta, right?
And the Masechta, we'll get there in Makis, Mir Hashem, I believe in less than a month. So the Gemara says, or in a month.
It's the end.
Yeah, all the way at the end. So here is a similar story. Rabbi Akiva's Masachik, the optimist, he's smiling. He says to them, you're asking me why I'm smiling? I'm asking, why are you crying? They said to him, how can we watch a Sefer Torah that's Shori B'tzar? Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, we shouldn't cry? Rabbi Akiva said, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, because Mashani Roya Rebbe, as long as the Rabbi Eliezer, she'ein deina machametz, ve'ein peshtone loike, ve'ein shamne mavish, ve'ein devshone madbish. As long as I see that he's matzliach, he stays healthy, he's successful, then amarti shemech has v'sholem kibul Rebbe Solomai. Then I'm afraid, I'm worried that maybe Hashem is paying back Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol in this world. That's why he's having such an easy life. And now, now that I see that he's betzar, ani sameach, I'm so happy, because I realize that he's going to have a great olam haba. By the way, the Chavis Salvava says that's why one of the questions we ask, right? The great questions that we ask. Moshe Rabbeinu asked the question, tzadikim v'raloi, tzadik v'raloi, rosh v'toivloi. One of the answers is exactly this. And we spoke about it earlier in Sanhedrin, in Chelik, that when you see a Rasha being successful, don't be upset about it, because the Rasha might have one zchus that we're paying him back in this world. And the tzaddik, if he had one little aveira, he suffers here, so this way his olam haba is complete. And that's what Akiva was saying. Amli Akiva, so Rabbi Eliezer Akiva, klum chisarti min ha-Torah kuli, you're saying, I have an aveira? What, I missed even one ois of Torah? Amar loi, l'maratanu Rabbeinu, ki ein adam ein tzaddik ba'aretz, asher yaseh toiv, v'lo yechto. There's nobody who's clean. Nobody is clean.
Besides, some people were.
So Pesach.
Baba
Basra at the end. Gemara on Shabbos, a few places that there are 4 people who were Meisoi be'etya shel Nachash. They died because of the Aveira of the Nachash. They were clean. Anybody remember those 4?
I know.
Yishai,
Kilov,
Binyamin ben Yaakov,
Kilov, which is
Binyamin ben Yaakov, Yishai ben David,
Kilov.
The father of David, Avi David. Kilov was the son of David. Kilov ben David. And Amram was the father of Moshe Rabbeinu. So 4 people basically be'etya shel Nachash. So how could you say, first of all, how is it possible? The pasuk says, "Adam ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yaseh tov v'lo yechta." There are 4 people who died without a chet. You know who asked this kasha? Tosfos and Shabbos. And Tosfos Shabbos says that when Shlomo HaMelech says in Keheles that Adam ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yaseh tov v'lo yechta, he's referring to most people, the average person. There are exceptions, but the average person dies with a chet. Nobody dies without a chet. Means the average person, and those 4 were an exception. So I heard from a fellow who was giving shiur on all daf. His name is, please forgive me, Rabbi Pinchas, maybe Pinchas Gross. You have to edit this out. I don't know his name, but all daf. He says that based on that Tosfos, we can answer the lashon of the Gemara, because the lashon of the Gemara is Rabbi Akiva said to Rabbi Eliezer, "V'haloyli madetonu Rabbeinu." You Rebbe taught us. You Rebbe taught us. It's a pasuk. What do you mean? Rabbi Akiva didn't know the pasuk in Keheles. He's telling Rabbi Eliezer, you taught us that ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yaseh tov v'lo yechta, right? You didn't teach it to us. It's a pasuk. It's Keheles. Shlomo HaMelech taught it. The answer is, based on Tosfos, that pasuk can be understood that most people die with a chet. But some people are an exception. So maybe Rabbi Eliezer was an exception. But Rabbi Eliezer taught Rabbi Akiva, no. There is no such thing. He argued, everybody in this world is going to confront a chet.
Rabbi Akiva said that?
Rabbi Akiva said to Rabbi Eliezer, you taught me that there are no exceptions. Everybody dies with a chet. And therefore you must have some shmutz that you have to, you need a kapara for. Ton Rabbanan. Kshechol Reb Eliezer nichnas Rabbazik kenim levak Reb Tarfon Reb Yeshua Reb Elazar Reb Akiva. Now Reb Tarfon v'Omar, each one said Toy Vatal Yisrael Matipish al Geshamim. Each one said a different compliment. Reb Tarfon said Toy Vatal Yisrael Matipish al Geshamim Shetipish al Geshamim ba'olam hazeh. A drop of rain only helps in this world. V'Rebbi ba'olam hazeh ba'olam haba. And you help us to come to the next world as well. Now Reb Yeshua v'Omar Toy Vatal Yisrael Yosem Megalgal Chama Shegalgal Chama ba'olam hazeh. The sunlight, the shine of the sun is only ba'olam hazeh. V'Rebbi ba'olam hazeh ba'olam haba. Now Reb Elazar v'Azari v'Omar Toy Vatal Yisrael ma'isam ma'avem. You're better than a father and mother. She'avem ba'olam hazeh v'Rebbi ba'olam hazeh ba'olam haba. Now, what's really interesting is each one said a different example, a different analogy. Many pshatim, why? What the pshat in all these analogies are. The most pashat pshat is Reb Tarfon said tipish al Geshamim. Why? Tipish al Geshamim is by the way is physical, right? It's material. It helps you get fruits. Reb Tarfon we know was a big oisher. Reb Tarfon was a very very wealthy ma'od. So because he was a big Reb Tarfon was a big oisher. And that's why he said to Reb Eliezer, you're better than all my ashiras, all the materialism that I have, because that's only in Olam Hazeh, but Rebbe, you bring me to Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. But he didn't like it. Rabbi Yeshua said more than that. Rabbi Yeshua says, not everybody loves rain, right? It was a little drizzling today, and I'm sure I saw you in Underwood, but it was no more...
it wasn't raining there?
Wasn't raining over there, right? Okay, you gotta pay attention to people's status. So...
people that pour concrete, it's a problem.
But pour concrete, contractor doesn't like concrete. Yeah, rain is not good for everybody. So Rabbi Yeshua says, if you're contrasting Rebbe to rain, it's not a great contrast. I have a better contrast. Galgal Chama, the sun. Who doesn't love a beautiful sunny day? So he says, Rebbe, you're even better than the sun. Comes along, Rebbe Elazar ben Azari says, no, the sun is also limited. What about at night? Yeah, even when there's daylight savings time, but what about at night? So he said, Yosem Avem, because a father and mother, they're around always, even at night. He says you're even better than a father and a mother because Rebbe is ba'olam hazeh and ba'olam haba. Nane Rebbe Akiva v'Omar. Rebbe Akiva says,
good things happen to good people too.
What is that?
Tarfon was wealthy and he was Tarfon, so you see good things happen.
Avada? No. Oh yeah. Sure. You can still be. I still hope for you. No, I'm just kidding. Nane Rebbe Akiva v'Omar. Chaviv and Yisurin. He says, Gavald, Rebbe, you should love Yisurin because they're mechaper on you. Omer lem samchuni. He couldn't hear him. He says, Samchuni, please help me to sit. The Eshma Divrei Akiva Talmidi. Let me hear what Akiva is saying. My Talmud is saying, Sha'omar Chaviv Yisirin. Omer le Akiva, Zumanai Lecha. How do you know this? Omer Akiva says, Mikrani Doirish. Ben Shtei Meser Shana Menashem Malcha V'Chamishim V'Cham Shana Malcha V'Yerushalayim V'Yasser Rabbeinu Hashem. Uksiv, and it says, Gam Eila Mishlei Shloima Shartika Anshe Chizkiya Melch Yehuda. You think Chizkiya taught the ganze Welt Torah, but his own son Menashe didn't learn Torah? He didn't teach Torah? As much as Chizkiya invested in his son Menashe, he wanted so badly that Torah should enter Menashe's heart, his son's heart. He did it, wasn't Matzliach. Elo, Yisurin, he wasn't Matzliach, but the Yisurin that Menashe at the end of his life got, that's what would return him to Torah mitzvah. Shenem b'Yidav Hashem Menashe v'Amoy v'Lekshuva v'Lekshivu v'Yov Hashem Alei Masor Atzava Shal Melech Ashur v'Yilkut Menashe b'Choichim v'Yisru ben Choshtay v'Lechu b'Vela. All these tzoras started happening to Menashe, and that's when he did tshuva. Listen to his tefillah. Yisurin are so powerful. Yisurin are so powerful that even if you have parents, the best parents in the world, Chizkiya was a great father to Menashe. He tried so hard to raise Menashe al pi Torah al pi mitzvahs, and still he wasn't successful until Hashem brought Yisurim to Menashe, and that's how Menashe changed. So Chaviv and Yisurim, Akiva says, if you encounter difficulty, we don't ask. We ask in the morning, nobody wants Yisurim in their lives. Nobody wants it. We ask Hashem, don't give it to me. But Rabbi Akiva is being mechadish. If you do have Yisurim in your life, Yisurim will change you. It'll change you for the better. It's Chaviv and Yisurim. It's an opportunity to grow. And that's what Rabbi Akiva was telling his Heilige Rebbe, Rabbi Eliezer HaGodol. Don't waste the opportunity of Yisurim. If you have challenges in your life, grow through them. Don't just go through them. This is this is Gavaldik, right? Intertwined.
You see, Eli Cohen got punished because he didn't he try his hard?
No, the opposite. Eli Cohen was not Mechiach's sons. That's why he was punished. No, he wasn't. He was not Mechiach's sons.
He did it lightly.
He did light. Yeah, he did it.
It wasn't what they needed.
It wasn't what they needed. Yeah. So Lamaisa, at the end of the day, At the end of the day, Chaviv and Yisurin. Chaim Shmulevitz has an unbelievable pshat in this Gemara, Chaviv and Yisurin. Unfortunately, I don't remember it offhand. Okay, Tonu Rabbanan. Shloisha bo ba'alila. 3 people came with tinus to Hashem. What does Rashi say ba'alila means? They came to Hashem not b'derech tefillah. They weren't mispalel to Hashem. They came with Hashem with argumentative tinus. Like, Hashem, I'm right and you're wrong. And Hashem listened to them. Ve'elan Kayin, Esav, u'Menashe. These 3 people argued with Hashem, and Hashem agreed. Kain, D'chsiv, Kod Lavaini Menesai. I killed my brother heavily, he says. But do you think my sin is so great that you can't forgive me? So what did he mean by that? Omar, Kain said, Lafondav, he said to Rebbe Shalom, Klum God Lavaini Meshishim Riboy Shasid Lachti Lafanecha. You think my Avain, my Aveira of killing Evel is greater than the 600,000 Yidden in the Midbar who are going to do the Chet HaEgel and the Chet HaMeraglim, and you're going to forgive them? And Esav also, he asked Yitzchak, he said, Abrocha achas yilecha avi, Menashe batchila kara lus harbel b'seif kara lekei avoisav. And Menashe also, in the beginning, he only served Elikus Harba, all the Avodah Zarahs, and nobody answered. And Hashem did answer him even after that. Lamaisa, if I could just end with this, I was just now in Italy, right? Esav, it says over here, Esav, one of the people is Esav. Esav asked, "Habrocha achas yilecha avi." Do you only have one bracha? And what happened? He got a bracha. Yitzchak gave him another bracha, right? What bracha did Yitzchak give him? He gave him the bracha of Mishmane Oretz. Right? He gave him that bracha. So Rashi says in Parshas told us, you're not going to believe it. I finally have pshat in a Rashi in Parshas told us from a priest in Rome. I don't know if I can even say this, but I interviewed one of the head priests. He teaches all these priests in Gregorian University in the Vatican to become priests. And I sat down with him for an interview, and he told me something. I said, I finally have pshat in Rashi in this bracha achas yilecha avi. What did he say? Rashi says that what did Yitzchak give Yaakov? He gave him Italy. He gave him Italia Shel Yovan. So the Rebbe from the Shach says, how does Rashi know which country Yitzchak gave to Esav? It doesn't say it in the Torah, like he knew, like Ruach Kadsha, Rashi had Ruach HaKodesh, but how did he know? So he says, because Italy was a country that wasn't formed yet. The Gemara in Shabbos says that Italy, right, there was an island, looks like a peninsula, right? That when Shlomo HaMelech married the daughter of Paroi, Gabriel came, put a reed into the ocean, and that reed started collecting dirt, and that dirt became an island, and it became Rome. That's how the Rome was formed. So he says, when he gave Yaakov the brachas, he gave everything. So Yitzchak, to look into the future, when Esav came, he says, I'm going to give you Italy. And so this priest tells me, did you know why Italy is called Italy? He didn't know this Rashi, okay? He didn't know the whole. But I said, no. He says, because in Hebrew, listen to this, Italy is 3 words. Iyei Hayam. E is an island. Iyei in Hebrew. Iyei Hayam. Aleph Yud is Aleph. Tal is dew. Yud Hey is Hashem. Italia. Iyei, the island that receives dew from Hashem. That's why it's called Italia. And I'm like, are you joking? That's why it's called Italia? I never heard this before. I said, you know who says Italia was given to Esav, to Edom? Rashi and told us when Yitzchak gave Italy to Esav, he said, "Abrocha achas yilecha avi." He gave him Italy. He gave him the bracha of Tal, and that's why Italia is called Italy. It's incredible. What an insight! But either way, over here we see that even if you don't daven, these people were able to convince Hakadosh Baruch Hu with their arguments and with their kindness.